Ready for Dynamite.
At first, you did that so smooth that I thought you were actually fucking up like I did, as opposed to.
Dynamite.
Oh, it's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. We are a Top Rope Tokes here to talk about another episode of AEW Dynamite. Not only an episode of AEW Dynamite, but winter is coming. Like most years, we did have a surprise, just not in the way that you expect it. Before we get into that, I'm just saying that guy over there.
Range of motions.
If you're seeing this intro, it probably means you're going back to watch. You're either here live, or you're going back to watch a VOD of the whole show, which we thank you for. Just make sure that when you're all said and done, you make it in. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, do all that good stuff. And in the description of our actual videos, you will always find our Discord link. Come talk wrestling with us. We look forward to it.
Yeah. Talk about Dynamite.
Before we go into talk about AEW, there's a couple of things in news. Like we've mentioned it briefly on the show. We've seen things falling out from the show on it tonight, but there's a couple bits of news. We've kind of danced around the whole Regal situation, right? Can we actually take a minute to actually talk about it outright?
I guess. I mean, I don't have too much of an opinion on it, just because I don't know anything about NXT, nor did I. So obviously, I just don't give a shit. Regal did cut a few nice promos here in AEW, but other than that, oh well.
I think it could have been interesting to see if him and MJF were a long-term plan at first before that happened, like what could have been. But obviously he had forged good relationships over there in WWE when he was running the show in NXT as a character, but also trainer, scout, all that good stuff. But I think the big part of it is his son's over there.
Oh.
I think I remember seeing
He's got to go over there with Billy Jr.
Billy. Oh,
yeah, Billy. Billy Jr.
What if he just takes up one of his many other names that he's had over years? Like, he's William Regal and has been William Regal for a long time. What if he takes up the name Steven Regal to bring that back?
Oh, man.
This is my son, Steven.
Regal. That would be wild. But yeah, whatever he does, I hope. Sorry. I hope it's great, and I hope it has all of what everybody used to talk about NXT for, or more.
So I'm seeing reports say it's going to take a vice president position. My biggest thing is, and Regal seems like a guy that very much is about respect. I would expect him to go over there respectfully, do his job to the best of his ability. I don't expect him to be one that comes out after the fact, slinging mud or anything like that. So as long as everyone's happy, I don't care. I will wonder what could have been if he stayed a little bit younger.
Yeah, it did seem like he had an interesting storyline working out as MJF's manager.
Now,
but, oh well.
Speaking of NXT, not that we ever talk about them really that much, but I was sitting there talking with, yesterday on the phone, one of her good friends, B, and we talked about a lot of the women's wrestling over in WWE, talking about some of her favorites, enjoying that kind of stuff, just because I don't know a lot of the new blood, so there's things I would ask him about and things like that. But I knew that the reigning champion women's champion down in NXT was Mandy Rose for a long time. So she dropped the title yesterday. We did out a thank you. And today it was announced that she was released.
All the news. I didn't. So, did you see anything about what or why that would happened?
It sounds like it deals with her site, which is similar to Only fans.
Okay.
Like, it has the same kind of setup, but it's not ran by them. But it's a like subscribe for content for me kind of thing. Which, okay, so WWE didn't want people streaming and doing third-party things and all that on their own. So you could go back to that and say that's why. But they have since let some people, maybe people that were released and came back under a new contract, who knows? Some people have been able to get back out there some. But I will say, through kind of looking into it a little bit, I have found that there are things out there that she have posted that go, it crosses that line from like, hey, WWE will post bikini photos, they'll post sexy photos, but there have been things that have crossed the line into too far.
Yeah.
So is it because of that in a PG company? Is it because she has her own website to make money, which they have frowned upon in the past with other people using like Twitch and stuff? Who knows? But she was a champion for over 400 days, loses the title, and the next day is released. And then the way she exited NXT after losing and tweeting that thank you, it's like she knew it was coming. It feels like.
Mm-hmm. Like, so it's like they were, I don't know, I don't watch it at all. Like, I legitimately have only watched about 30 minutes of NXT, and I'm so happy that part of that was, you said it was Rick Steiner's son, that's the one?
Yes.
That's in NXT? Yeah, I got to see him doing his uncle's math promo, and that was the best 30 minutes of not AEW I've ever seen.
I will say some of the better matches and some of the people that we enjoy in AEW were in NXT before there, and they all a lot of them will have had similar backgrounds. So back when I was enjoying NXT, it was a lot of the same people. So you can already imagine the type of wrestling I was getting.
Yeah.
It's
so yeah, you're getting better wrestling than the WWE main roster for sure.
Thankfully, that has changed since Triple H has taken over.
Yeah.
I swear, on a 3-hour Monday Night Raw, there'd be times where you'd only have like a half hour of wrestling in a 3-hour show. And they've at least like got it to where it's like half and half or something now. So it's like, hey,
Yeah, I watched a couple shows recently from them, and there's wrestling on there. It's still not the quality of AEW wrestling, but there's wrestling on the show.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that still didn't come from that mold that are still there. That, you know, obviously Vince have liked and they've been there for a while, or veterans who never really worked that style. But I don't know. It was just
yeah, that's just for her to just be immediately gone.
I feel like it knew it was going to come, just the way that all played out. But here's one for you. So you know how Sasha Banks has had questions running around here for a while, and rumors about her doing New Japan. Well, her tag team partner, Naomi, that she walked out with at this point, I don't know, 7 months ago. It was early this year, and there's been a lot of news this year.
Yeah. This has been a this has been a year for wrestling.
But did you see who she was photographed with at a basketball game?
A basketball player.
No.
A person.
One of your favorite people.
A wrestler.
From AEW. That's straight money.
Oh, she was with Jade?
There's a photograph of them together at a basketball game.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything, but that would... But Sasha Banks in AEW would be dope.
Yeah. I'm not saying it means anything, but just, man, for the longest time, do you know the hell you would catch in that company for taking a picture with somebody and posting it on social media from someone with a different company? It'd be like, hell no. Don't
like,
do
you
that.
can't even pretend like they're not even the worst person on the planet.
They just do not exist in your world.
Yeah. Yeah. WWE's like, we're the Marvel Universe, everyone else is DC movies.
Hey, you want to know something funny?
At least that's what they want it to be.
A really big bonus of the fact that we haven't actually talked about AEW yet.
What?
I am just now hitting the start recording button. I started the stream. I just forgot to hit record.
Nice. You did great.
Didn't miss anything. in terms of making clips. Did not miss anything. And the actual stream video will have all of this. So everything that's going to need to be captured is going to be captured. It worked out all right. Try moving my mic over this way even more.
Son of a gun, you guys. Son of a gun.
I need a technical producer that wants to work for free.
Yeah, keyword for free.
So I guess it'd be more like a volunteer.
Yeah.
Not a worker.
Yeah, we need someone whose passion is to make small podcasts incredible.
I have no formal training in anything that we've done. What the hell just happened?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, we still haven't started talking about AEW. Wait, what the hell am I on call? I'm so confused.
Are we?
It says I'm connected on some kind of call, but I should not be. I'm so fucking confused.
You can't figure out that phone.
I don't even know what the hell happened, man. It's weird. I was looking at my notifications. I got so excited.
He doesn't know what to do without an iPhone, y'all.
They're so much simpler. No, someone actually. I went Facebook advertising, and somebody I kind of did it as a question, so that way it didn't come across as straight up spam in advertising. But yeah, I went to a couple of AEW groups, and I was like, hey, it's been months since All Out, and I still, if I go back and watch MJF's return, I'll get goosebump feeling, get excited and all that stuff. Like it still gets a reaction from me, especially like thinking about being there in the memory. So I asked the question, do you have any memories like that will still always get some kind of reaction? I just happened to throw in the YouTube short of us freaking out during the reaction in the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't feel like a complete advertisement. It feels like a genuine post. like a wrestling discussion, but also I just happened to drop the link in there.
Yeah. No big deal. You know.
But
it's all good.
Oh shit!
All right, where are we gonna start? Where are we gonna start here today?
I know I had a good segue, but it kind of got ruined because I accidentally closed my notepad in a panic to figure out why the fuck Discord put me in some kind of call.
So, anyways, where are we gonna start? Where are we gonna start? What do you think? What do you think? What do you want to talk about first? Wrestling or not wrestling?
I'm going to start off here with what ends up leading to probably the biggest surprise of the night. But before we get to that, there's a couple different promos that are associated with it. Because Tony Schiavone was backstage with, well, all the men of JAS. The ladies weren't there. Ty might have been, getting her gear and everything ready because she had a match later in the night.
Mm-hmm.
Jericho has been defending so hard, tapping out to that swing on Ring of Honor pay-per-view.
The giant swing is barbaric and it should be banned, okay?
Inhumane. You're risking, like on social media,
should be banned.
He says you're risking permanent brain damage and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like he could have shit himself and puked and whatever else he said could have happened to him.
No, Mox said that part later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mox said that. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, whatever could have happened to him, he could have shit, he could have puked.
Mm-hmm.
It was all bad. Okay. He had to tap out.
He says he's going to face a jobber tonight in a tune-up match for his rematch.
He's going to take out his anger.
No, he's going to take out his anger, all right.
Yeah.
But then Tony goes to slide over to Garcia to bring up the fact that he lost his Pure Championship to Wheeler Yuta. And before Garcia really gets to say anything, Jericho has to step in again. We're going to have to deal with more Sammy.
Says that's so. He just told Garcia to get with Sammy because Sammy's a good mentor. And I'm like,
hold on though. He says you need more mentorship, so you're gonna shadow your elder. So you're thinking he's gonna pick someone with a decent amount of experience, like someone at least in their 30s, probably.
And say like the only people in that group that are older are him and Hager.
Cool Hand and Daddy Magic are also pretty old.
Oh
but
yeah,
that's not people that you would meant to shadow though.
Right.
I could have seen Hager just because of the technical and MMA style
going
along with Garcia, but no. It was Sammy, and he was so happy about it.
He was I'm going to be a great mentor. I'm going to teach him how to cheat better.
And you can start seeing it on Friday night, because on Rampage, basically he wants Moxley.
Oh yeah, and Hager loves his hat.
Yeah. Sammy talked a little bit more. Schiavone went to sign off, and Hager just throws it in there, completely cutting him off.
Yeah, I love this hat.
If we can give silly little things like this to Jake Hager and it could end up working, why can't we do anything for Brian Cage? Get to that later.
But yeah, I love Jake Hager and the hat thing, man. It's made him not boring because he wasn't scary.
I mean, at least
because he was only doing the tough, scary guy thing, and he has a goofy face, so it just doesn't work.
His job a lot of the time was also to lose to set up for Jericho.
Exactly.
So that didn't work. He didn't really have the personality. Now he may be more for comedy, but so is like half of JAS, so whatever.
Yeah, yeah, that's what the point of JAS is.
Hager, Daddy Magic, and Cool Hand for the trios belts.
No.
I didn't say they have to win.
Okay. They can have a match, but that's it.
Let them have
They cannot win them.
Let them have a little bit of run where we kind of get to see Daddy Magic and Cool Hand win and get a few matches there on TV against whoever, and then they can lose.
Yeah. Those are guys that I like because of their rare appearances. If they were around too much more, I wouldn't be a fan.
Well, depending on what happens later, what happens with JAS, that's also a big question mark, because if Jericho's losing his damn mind and JAS is going to end soon, then obviously there's no point to kind of try to give them a little bit of credibility.
Yeah.
But
they had all their credibility already. They're good.
Those two are treated like jokes. But BCC, unfortunately, continuing this for at least one more match. Fox says people are later on tonight. He says people are kind of confused about what's going on with the BCC. He said that they would make a statement, and they did, because Yuta elbowed Garcia's face into oblivion, and that Claudio swung a grown man around by his ankles until he wanted to pass out and soil himself.
Mm-hmm.
On Friday night, he choked out Takeshita like a sack of potatoes. I was all good with this promo until he had to just kind of shit over Takeshita.
Yeah. That's bullshit.
Like, you didn't have to do it so negative.
A shout out to the person in the crowd that had a Takeshita as God sign.
He basically says there's one more left at Sammy on Rampage, and he also tells Hangman that, you know, he can always grab his friends from the Dark Order and come find them too.
Yeah. So are we about to put the JAS BCC thing to rest finally?
I hope so, because you at least got Danielson about to enter into something with someone that we'll get into later.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Mox versus Hangman's going to become a thing.
Right.
And I swear on my life, I will turn off the TV if I see another Yuta versus Garcia match in the next 3 months.
Yeah.
It could open the show. I will turn off my TV and skip that entire episode of Dynamite.
Yeah, those two, they're really good in ring together, good chemistry and all that. Both of them really good technical wrestlers. But yeah, let's not see that again. Like, definitely not against seeing it down the road sometime. Because, like I said, these two do put on a good match. But yeah.
That's why I'm like,
let's see something else happen.
At least 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Something else has got to happen.
If you can go 3 months and then you can kind of revisit it for a reason outside of a feud, like maybe another tournament happens or something where it's a one-off, fine. But we just watched the feud between these groups go for way too fucking long.
Yeah, JAS pretty much started when I started watching AEW, and this feud has lasted almost that entire time.
And Garcia versus Yuta for the Pure Championship has been a staple of that. At least Jericho versus Claudio for the Ring of Honor Championship only started like the last third of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say at least that happened twice.
And I know he faced him. I think Claudio faced him before he was champion. I could be wrong. But
I don't think in a singles match.
I'm so happy that it seems like we're moving on from it.
Yeah,
And
I
part
hope.
of that reason is Jericho's match tonight and his reaction after the fact.
Dude. Yeah, Jericho and the guy that he referred to as a jobber. Um,
Action and ready.
aka Great Value Will Ospreay, because I legitimately thought that that was Will Ospreay in the ring for a second until they like the camera got closer to him, and I was like, "Oh, okay, it's just Great Value Will Ospreay. It's not him."
And it gets worse because our blunder of the night, whatever we decide on calling that, when they did his introduction and said his name, which not always the easiest thing to hear, the graphics card for their name, they put Jericho's back up on the dude. So that man is now Chris Jericho.
Yes, Chris Jericho, the Ocho. Not just any Chris Jericho. Remember, there are many Chris Jerichos. He is the Ocho specifically.
So
yeah, just to add insult to it, like, hey, this guy is nobody. We can't even put his name on the graphic.
it was so bad, and because Jericho called it earlier, there's a chant that I was trying to figure out what was going on, and I had asked you, and you were able to come up with it. What was that chant?
Let's go, jobber. Let's go, jobber.
And a big crowd pop
Yeah.
when he kicked out the code breaker before they went to commercial.
Dude.
I literally just have in my notes that Andretti can move. There's holy shit chance.
Yeah.
And then it goes right to action counters Jericho and kind of did a roll through, but they said he dropped him on his head. It was slightly not super smooth, but didn't look that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, nothing that he did looked bad to me. I thought it was
Oh, I'm not saying it would have been on him, because it was almost like he countered, but then he was doing like a rolling head scissors out of it, where Jericho normally would kind of flip / roll through to his back.
yeah.
That part didn't happen too smooth, the whole.
Yeah, that didn't. Yeah. That is right. But yeah, I thought this was definitely the biggest surprise of the night.
Because after that, he
it
hit the running
started
shooting
out-
star press and had the win. Sorry, never actually said he won yet.
Mhm.
Go on now.
Oh, I don't even remember what I was about to say because you cut me off.
You were saying it was the biggest match this night, and then you were saying like in the beginning, so I was like, wait, we didn't say what the surprise was.
Oh, shit. I don't know. I'm toked. Keep on going.
He got "You Deserved It" chance, and Chris Jericho just had a stunned look on his face.
Mm-hmm.
And later was seen throwing shit around all backstage, losing his damn mind. Is this a crisis of confidence for Jericho? Is this his next story? That he's losing it, falling apart?
I hope so. Seems like the right kind of story for Jericho now.
I wonder if that means we'll kind of get kind of like how Darby did recently, but it only lasted like one more week. Jericho maybe ends the JAS and says he has to prove something to him for himself.
That just doesn't seem like Jericho MO though, but
I'm not saying right now. Like,
yeah.
I imagine the descent will probably be a bit slower.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not gonna happen fast.
At some point, if you're losing confidence, you gotta be able to prove it to yourself, right?
Mm-hmm. Eventually, it's going to be the Sammy Guevara Appreciation Society, the S-Gas.
Shit gas.
There we go. They're transitioning into the Sammy Guevara Appreciation Society. Knew it.
You know what? if they ever start to go down that road where it seems like that's the way that they're going, I hope Garcia just undercuts him so fast. Like, no, fuck this shit. I'm gonna beat your ass. You're not the leader. Although
I don't know.
Sammy with the full group is probably better than Sammy by himself for me.
Yeah, I still don't know how to feel about Sammy.
I think that's one reason why I want him in a group, so he's not on his own on the mic for 10 minutes. He has to share it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he's doing right now. He just gets to. He really doesn't actually say anything at all now. I'm thinking about it now.
Besides his smugness,
Jericho talks, and then he makes out with Ty in the background. And Hager stands there caressing his hat. Ah, Jazz. It's time to be done with you.
So you just brought up Sammy's wife and how he likes to just make out with her on screen. You know what would be a great story? Is if Ruby turned around and broke her nose back and she had to wear that face mask, make it very hard for Sammy to try to make out with her on screen.
Yeah. Oh man. Have her go into a storyline with Pac. The two masks.
But that match happened tonight. Ruby Soho returning to get her revenge on Ty Mello. They brawled all around the ring for a good while before the match even started.
Welcome back, Ruby.
Yeah.
I like your green. Your green outfit's better. Your green hair's it's kind of got a little edge to it. I dig it, Ruby.
If she can get like the momentum and the fan support back, I will say she does have one of those songs that is great for like the live wrestling crowd to get energy.
Yeah, she does. Because I mean, it's just punk rock, man.
I mean, and Taz even sings on commentary. But
Taz is a fucking clown, man. I love it though. But yeah, Taz is a complete clown.
So Ty actually goes to leave after she kind of blocks the no future kick by getting her hand up. She rolls out of the ring, goes to leave, ends up hitting Ruby with a hammerlock DDT on the ramp, playing up more shots to the face and head area. But in the end, Ruby later on in the ring is able to hit Destination Unknown for the win. But NJ attacks after.
And then Anna Jay hits her with the power walk. That was like the most Olympic power walk. I was like, why don't you just jog? Because you're just
nobody comes out to help Ruby. I figured that JAS and those girls probably have made enemies, so I was a little bit surprised that nobody. But yeah, Ruby
there's no baby faces in women's wrestling in AEW. You're forgetting one. I know, that's what I'm saying. She is the baby face. Everyone else is a heel or kind of a heel, or just doesn't matter. Right. Unfortunately,
because like even D&D and Jamie Hayter, like their faces by crowd reaction, they are not faces by character. I mean, Jamie more so than Britt, but
not like the biggest babyface wrestler And when the biggest women's baby face is Tony Storm.
Nuh-uh. We'll get to who in a second. Because since we already talked about DMD, might as well talk about Renee was backstage with DMD and Rebel. They're, hyping up Jamie, talking a little bit of shit about Sheeta because Sheeta sued DMD for the title. Smurf Pat, Sky Blue, walks up and it's just like, ahem. And like, what the hell do you want? Coming out of nowhere. And I don't know. It was weird. Because Sky Blue's like, you can talk, but can you wrestle? Like, really? She's the former women's champion and you've done nothing.
Yeah, but can she wrestle though?
We'll find out on Friday when DMD wrestle circles around Sky Blue.
I don't know about that.
Are you talking about actual ability or are you talking about
actual ability?
Power ranking? Okay.
Power ranking? Oh, yeah. She should wrestle circles around her. But, yeah.
They might use it as a way to kind of showcase Sky Blue. It's like, no, she's legitimate now.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I think that's kind of what they're wanting to do here. Like, putting her with stepmom all the time. And, I don't know. She's been on TV a lot recently. So they're trying to build up Sky Blue a little.
So who has been getting some TV time recently? We've been begging for it. And that's also
Willow.
why I said outside of Willow, the next biggest baby face is not Tony Storm. Because we talked about
Tony
this
Storm
before Jamie became champion. Hikaru Shida.
But she's hardly ever around anymore.
Still
That
gets bigger
doesn't count.
reactions than Tony Storm.
That doesn't count. She's like a part-timer now.
But that's because she's representing AEW all around the world, man. Did you know
Exactly.
that she says Grammy is a great champion, but she's not a history maker? That Karushida will really teach her about Joshi wrestling?
Yeah.
That was the majority of the video promo hyping up the
That was the
match.
most talking that I've heard from Sheeta ever.
Yeah.
And and she delivered her lines really well for someone who's, you can tell, whose English is really not good.
She's
So
yeah, I think the last time I remember her talking a decent amount was when like Britt and them attacked her when she was teaming with Tony.
yeah.
Like late summer.
Yeah, and it was more like, "Ugh, I'm mad." Like, not a whole lot to what she said.
I'm pretty sure that part's getting cut out because I'm trying to think of a transition. So I was like, screw it, I'm a barp.
Burp transition's good. You gotta burp the next match or promo that you're going over.
I was trying to see if there was anything worth trying to pair with a squash match. No, so hi. House of Black destroyed the factory.
They sure did. House of Black is getting pushed to the moon to be the next trios challenger for the Elite after they beat Death Triangle.
I will say the moment
and the Escalera de Morton.
I will say the moment with Julia and Nick Camarado, that was interesting and also kind of, I don't know, different. I'd say if it
Oh yeah. I would love for this to be a change of character for Nick Camarado. Because what the fuck are they doing with him? He's got like this jobber version of Scott Hall that he's doing, and I don't like it. So maybe him getting the mist in the face is going to make him darker or something.
Because what was that? A
Scott
sucker
Hall
stick?
copycat. I don't know if it was a sucker stick or a toothpick, but he's been very clearly trying to be the new Scott Hall lately, and I don't like it. Not at all. Don't do Scott Hall, man. It's not working for you.
But yeah, so like he steps up and Julia steps up and kind of face off. He chucks it at her. She just misses him in his face, and then everybody but Malachi and QT to start brawling around ringside until House of Black is able to get up on the ring apron again, surrounding QT. One spinning heel kick. Only thing that was done. Barely a pin. 1, 2, 3.
Like I said, House of Black, man, they're strong, and the Elite better be ready.
Now see,
this new positioning of House of Black, man, I'm in. I am so interested, and I don't understand why.
yeah, there's been less.
I had them every week for a while, and
we talked about it before. Like their video promo got a little bit more concise, direct, and had like a point to it. But outside of that, there hasn't been much of like the blathering on video promos or talking. Even some of the stuff that he says like to his opponent or whoever he's attacking is a lot more direct. Like when he talks shit about the Elite to Brandon Cutler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, that's the other thing is more action. They're actually doing more, because for months on end it was just videos. Oh yes, we're darkness incarnate and we're going to take over AEW, and they didn't do shit. It was just video after video. And I'm like, all right, after a while I'm just like, so are these like bad 2-minute horror movies or what?
If that was the case, they should have hired Swerve, because he's a movie director and he loves horror.
Yeah.
Just ask Daddy Ass.
Oh, that was one of my favorite things.
You know what? Let's get into it. To start the show off, we had match number 4 in the best of 7 series between the Elite and Death Triangle.
Man.
At least in match 3 and now match 4, match 1 and 2, they let themselves be themselves and just have killer matches. Match 3, they did a different type of story with the brawling. This match 4, they did something different with like the injury aspect to it, because Nick Jackson went out with, if I had to describe it, what? Ankle sprain?
Yeah, it looked like it would have been like an ankle sprain, yeah. So, yeah, he left about 30 seconds into the match. Maybe even faster than that.
Yeah, it was early. Definitely in like the first like fifth of the match.
Mm-hmm.
Get a cup. It was pretty earlier.
Yeah. So it's 3-on-2 for the majority of the match. And the Elite hold up better with just 2 than they do with 3. So maybe Nick's the weak link We don't know.
I mean, he's got a weak wheel right now, so probably. But
Yeah.
later on in the match, Pac is going for the Black Arrow. We talked about it. It looks funny as hell because Kenny's just sitting there the whole time.
He's just they're just like,
come to me.
Hey, come to me. Psych, I'm going to roll out of the way because I've been waiting for this forever.
So when he rolls out of the way, you have one of those double down type moments where everyone in the ring's down, which allows the focus to come back on Nick Jackson as he hobbles out down the ramp. Definitely playing up a limp.
Yeah, backstage hands are, no, don't go out there. You're not ready. And he's like, nah, I'm a wrestler.
I'm gonna do this because I can take this injury. In all actuality, the way that these guys wrestle, if he did anything to his actual leg or beat up, that sucks because so much of these two teams going against each other, quickness, movement, all of that is necessary.
I'm saying he's the high flyer of their group.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, that would be bad.
He comes in, you have your normal baby face, like return. You come in like a house is on fire, kicking people, and Phoenix catches a kick, and while he's holding the kick, Penta whips out his hammer again.
The hammer's back.
But as opposed to going for a headshot, he goes for the bum ankle.
He gives him a nice little ankle shot.
Which
hammer to the ankle.
Phoenix puts him into an inverted knee bar, which he has to tap out real quick. Now, let me know what you think. Kenny got on the mic.
How small that hammer is.
For the ring bell. Kenny got on the mic after, and he even said he wasn't, it wasn't planned for it. Like it wasn't cut into the time slots or anything in the format of the show for him to get on the mic. I will say it didn't feel like a normal promo. But considering you went to commercial after, it feels like it very much was formatted for the show.
Yeah. Either he had time to fill and was just like, I gotta cut something real quick here. Or it might have just been like you said, that he was like, trying to make it seem like it was just an impromptu kind of thing, but he definitely had it planned out from the start.
Well, the whole point.
I mean, obviously, sorry, but obviously he has to make it seem like, hey, we are real pissed right now that you guys cheated with that hammer again.
In all three of their victories.
Mm-hmm. So, you know what? Bring the hammer next time.
Bring all the weapons next time.
Yeah.
No DQ.
No DQs. Yeah.
And then, in a very AEW way, a way that annoys the hell out of both of us, and I know I see it online as well. They wait until the main event of the show, which is MJF versus Ricky Starks for the World Championship that you have been building up for. Just casually drop in there. Oh, on top of that match being a no DQ, if it goes to match 6, it'll be a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Oh.
If it goes 7,
Escalera de la Muerte. And obviously it has to go to the Escalera de la Muerte.
Which I love that when they said that word, somebody had to right after be like, ladder match. I was like, Halloween passed, and I think the other holiday that's something like that is like in May. So I'm like,
I mean, do they do ladder matches a little differently in Mexico or anything like that? Maybe that's the difference here.
not a clue. But I do
That's what I
know,
was thinking. Either way, it sounds way cooler than ladder match.
but I do know those. Well, the two tag team sides of it, the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks, have done many ladder matches against each other. So
Mhm.
maybe they just reference it that way because of their history within them. But for the love of God, AEW, with the whole graphics cards, announcements kind of thing, like I don't think anything can top the explanation that Excalibur had to give like 5 times in 2 minutes at the end of a show that nobody understood, and it was a paragraph like this long.
About how the interim championship was working. Yeah, that was weird. Or no, the tournament
Yeah,
to
I couldn't
decide
remember.
who. Yeah, that's what it was. The tournament for the interim thing. 'Cause, yeah, that was real weird. And I didn't understand it until Rampage.
Please stop doing that with your announcements, especially if it's a bigger thing like that. Like, it's different if it's just something like, oh yeah, and these two have a problem, so they're gonna have a match next week. It's a little different when you already knew the match was gonna happen. It's like, boom, ladder match.
Yeah. But it was another one of those really fast. What did he just say? So no false count for the next, and it's like, oh, it's like you have to watch wrestling and take notes.
But
That's what it is. It's like you got to take notes while you watch if you want to know what's going to be coming up.
but also, depending on the match, sometimes you get focused on the actual match. And you can miss things that the commentators say. So when you just say it briefly in passing like that, there's probably a lot of people that might be like looking online after right now going like, wait, what? A ladder match? When did they ever say this?
Yeah, because our main event tonight was good.
Not only
So listening to commentary talk about something that wasn't the match, not easy.
You know what? If you want to talk about something that's not that match, do it in the Ty Mello versus Soho match. I would say do it in the
This is
House
Ruby's first match back, man.
I would say do it during the House of Black versus the Factory match, but that match ended like instantly.
Yeah, and then that just didn't have the time. Shit, you could have done it during the Jericho and Jobber match, because that match was way longer than I thought it was gonna be. Holy, I still can't get over that.
Speaking of the big main event, it wasn't a pay-per-view tonight, but we had Ricky Starks versus MJF for the Triple B, his big Burberry belt. But before we ever got to the main event, they each had their own little video backstage promo throughout the night. The general thought on MJF's when he did it, we were kind of in the same boat on this one. The dude gave like a 10 to 15 minute in-ring promo and about 4 to 5 minutes of a backstage one, in which those usually only go a minute or two.
Yeah, like normally he has a little bit more time to let his words breathe, and he seemed like he kind of sped through this. He had a few good lines in here, but yeah, he sped through it. He was started off with, oh yeah, Ricky, everyone's saying you're a star being born. I'm already a star. I'm so great. I'm a star maker. I made you're being made a star because of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, but yeah, he had some good lines in there, but yeah, it was just he had to deliver it too quick because it was just a backstage thing, and it still ended up being a really long backstage segment.
Because Ricky got his opportunity later in the night, and I don't know how close they were in terms of overall time, but it feels
But
like in
yeah,
terms of actual content, like MJF might have spit out double the amount of words.
oh yeah, easily double.
Because MJF's
But
that guy. He's the one that everybody already hates. So like, he doesn't have anyone to let down. But what happens when the pebble is under pressure? Will he turn it into a diamond, or will he turn into dust? It's kind of like the emphasizing point at the end. Ricky's was on a whole different level though.
yeah, Ricky's promos have been way more heartfelt recently, and it's kind of showing you that Ricky has the range that you thought that he might, but you didn't get to see.
Yeah, he says he's been coming in doing the same work week in and week out. It wasn't just last week.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he says he's been doing this for a long time. He don't know what you're talking about. A star is born. I'm like, I'm already a star.
So, I feel like one thing that's evident with AEW, if we already didn't know it, you could kind of figure it out, is other company, everything became overly scripted, people talk the same kind of way, blah, 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 right? Tonight was another example of Ricky being Ricky. Because besides what we talked about with him and Hobbs, when they would drop certain lines that made it feel more like street trash talk and stuff like that, as opposed to your normal TV kind of trash talk.
Yeah.
Ricky's like, he's the coldest MFer. He's the most stylish MFer.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, that's the thing is with these two promos, it felt like MJF said a whole lot more, but what Ricky said stuck out more because I feel like he's more used to having a short segment, so he knew exactly what to do with it.
I feel like little things like this just really help showcase like the boldness of his personality pretty well. Versus MJF, we've had years to digest him. And we know what MJF is at this point. There's still, I hate to say it, start making performances. Ricky's still getting his entire personality out there.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. And I don't know, I'm happy we're seeing it now. I'm really happy we're seeing it now because he made this, like, this Dynamite felt like the main event to this Dynamite felt like it could be a pay-per-view main event.
It's weird because the beginning of this match felt like it was like 1997 WCW Nitro. With MJF in control, especially, like, he was doing some of the most old school spots, like the abdominal stretch, using the ropes as leverage stuff.
I was loving it. It took me back. It was just like, and like you're saying, he's doing the old school heel stuff. It was just, I'm going to do this hold, and then I'm going to taunt the crowd. I'm going to do this quick hold that's not legal. I'm going to taunt the crowd again. Like, I was loving it.
He did his little strut after he walked over Ricky trying to trip him up.
Yeah. Yeah, we love that. I love it.
It does really, like, a lot of that beginning part of the match especially just felt like straight out of like the mid-90s.
Yeah, it was just, the nostalgia feeling behind that, because wrestling today, it's a whole lot more complex, and you forget about how simple wrestling was.
And when you can get those matches that you get really invested in, that don't move a million miles an hour. Like, silly example, but it's one that works off the top of my head. Ishii versus Jericho, the slap fight.
Yeah.
There was barely any moves done in that match.
Yeah, it was mostly just making each other's chests raw, and we liked it.
So I'm not saying they slowed it down, but like, yeah, you don't have to go a million miles a minute all the time. And this one, they really, really built throughout the match because it picked up. It definitely picked up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there was a few different spots in here that I liked. Of course, the Strike Fest. Because with these two, it couldn't be like a normal Strike Fest. It started out as the hockey fight Strike Fest, but then it was I'm gonna one up your hit. Oh, I'm gonna one up you into spear.
Yeah.
For the final one up on that.
I mean, like Ricky did a couple of shoulder tackles where it really looked like he had to throw everything he could into it, and it looked good. But you talked about him hitting a spear. He eventually, well, that was after his arm was all fucked up, right?
Yes. Yeah, that was later in the match, but that was just my favorite spot in the match. Other than my hit of the night.
Because honestly, that is literally my next note is when he hit the spear, but he was slow to make the cover. Like the ref got to the count of 9 and neither guy had got up yet.
Yeah, and then he just goes for the cover. That was damn good there.
It was that one arm cover which left it loose and open, and MJF was able to kick out and put him right into the armbar.
And say MJF was just playing possum. Counters the cover right into an armbar.
There was part of this armbar I thought was really well. MJF, kind of like when he first came back, when Ricky was reaching for the ropes, he grabbed that second arm and pulled it back behind him as well. So he had both arms. Ricky went to do it with his leg. He captured that too. It took him a little bit of timing to get that third one because he definitely could have got his leg on the ropes, but eventually with his last foot, Ricky's able to get his foot on the ropes to break the hold.
Yeah, that was really cool too. Like he's holding 3 of his limbs. He's got to make that hit the rope break with the last leg. He's on his last leg.
So
and he makes it.
There's not a ton left, and you said you're hidden nights in this?
Yeah, because I forgot about it.
Go ahead.
I forgot about Hidden Night. So I'm just throwing it in this match because the powerbomb knee backbreaker that MJF used in this match was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was one of the new things I hadn't really seen until he came back. And every time he hits it, I'm always like...
Yeah, I like it.
Oh?
I'm like, all right, MJF, you're doing moves and stuff, even though you claim that you don't wrestle.
He
doesn't put on good matches and stuff.
He doesn't care about 5 stars.
I don't care about putting on a good match.
Yeah. So just his job to win.
Here he is, pulling out some wrestling moves and stuff.
And I like it because that's not something I don't know if I've ever really seen anyone do that, at least on a regular basis. So I do like having some kind of... There should be certain moves that people don't replicate. Like, we already see enough super kicks. We already see enough DDTs now.
Yeah, there's a million cutters. Good God.
So that's actually the one that, when I first started diving into like Ring of Honor as AEW was about to become a thing, the cutter was the one that made me mad. I was like, super kicks, you know what? Cool, whatever. Striking's becoming more prevalent.
Yeah.
But the cutters being everywhere devalue one of my favorite moves. Why don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the cutter being as overly used as it is.
How are we supposed to know who it's supposed to finish people for and not finish people for?
I just assume it's basically like a punch now. Or no, like sorry, it's like an elbow strike because punches are still rare.
But after that, there's a little bit of a counter fest. Like they do roll up counters, the bridging out of pins counters. Uh, I don't know what exactly they were attempting to do because there's a power bomb type maneuver that maybe was supposed to be Hurricane Rana that ended up being a pretty nice power bomb by Ricky Starks. But in the end, he's going for the Rochambeau. Ref is able to slide out from behind, or MJF is able to slide out from behind, hide behind the ref, and when Ricky tries to get the ref out of the way, kick right to the dick.
Yeah, he kicked him in his penis. You know what he did? He kicked him in the penis.
And then roll up win to end AEW Dynamite. Winter is coming. Except that's not the end.
I thought Ricky was immune to this by now after MJF straight dick punched him last week.
You know, maybe wear a cup or something.
Yeah. I mean, but MJF straight dick punched him last week and he just speared him about it and held his belt while holding his balls. Like, I was like, you could do that in the match too, man.
Hey, most people kick harder than they punch.
True.
Significantly harder for a lot. I would say probably the average person.
True. True. And MJF kind of looks like he's been on roids lately, so, you know.
And you can get all that underneath too. That's not going to feel good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. True.
The devil himself tries to, you know, leave and he's walking up the ramp. Danielson's music hits. He chases him all the way into the crowd before Danielson gets back in the ring and helps up Starks. And that is how the show ends, with nice cheers for Ricky Starks as he's being helped up by Danielson.
Yeah. Then he whispers something to him. I don't know if it was like, yeah, MJF's a dick. I know, man.
How's your dick, dude?
Or yeah, he's like, is your dick okay? Oh, okay, good. Because yeah, Ricky Starks has taken quite a few ball shots lately. He got poked in the eyes in this match. His arm almost got snapped.
Yeah, but I feel like this does a good job of two things. You're setting a long-term future feud up with another young star in Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
But you also play right into the next story for MJF.
Yep.
Because he's going to be Danielson.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. So next special Dynamite will be Danielson.
I don't know about the next one because weren't they calling next week a special one, like the Holiday Bash or whatever?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, they showed
nothing. I'm gonna say maybe not the next one then, but like whatever that January one is. Yeah.
Hopefully, because I don't know if I want to play it out to like a February pay-per-view.
No. Well, the pay-per-view's not until March. Right? Yeah, Revolution's in March.
I think it's usually like the first weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was March 5th, somewhere around there. But yeah, definitely the first weekend. Yeah, March 5th is a Sunday. Yeah.
Last week
So,
or this year it was the 6th. It was the 7th the year before. So yeah, usually that first like weekend of March. Yeah, so
mhm.
even further. Yeah, don't
So yeah. Yeah, let's definitely not draw that out until March.
I mean, I
No.
understand that you treat MJF like a special attraction, you don't make him wrestle all the time, but you
But
no, that'd be too long.
yeah, don't draw that out until March. Come on. Next special Dynamite. Like I said, sometime in January, you can do that. But a 3 month feud, 3.5 month feud, nah.
Well, on the plus, oh no, never mind. I was gonna say I thought we finished up with all the matches. There was one more match on this card tonight.
Oh, yeah, there is one more match.
And in another attempt where you could blatantly see them trying to change from it, it was Jack Perry. You can clearly see them differentiating more and more, trying to push out the Jungle Boy and going more and more towards Jack.
Yeah, he's still Jungle Boy. I don't care.
But
I don't care what they want to call him. He's Jungle Boy.
I'm not sure how or why this match was even happening. I mean, I get after the fact how they used it, but it was him versus Brian Cage, and it was very much a little guy
Mhm.
versus big strong guy match.
Yep. Yep. Standard big guy versus little guy match. Big guy dominates.
Little
Little guy
guy,
gets small burst of offense and some kind of counter
lots and
to
lots
it.
of speed. Big guy catches him. Big guy curls him like he's just some weights and throws him over his shoulders.
Yeah. Brian Cage is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Like, how does one get like that? And I think your theory is correct that he starts his day like he uses a car as covers. So that way he has to start every day by lifting a car off of himself. And that's why he looks the way he does.
Just gets a car parked right over top of him.
He's like, yeah, thank you. That way I can get started as soon as I get up in the morning.
But, jeez. I just remember how this segment ends and how we were both like so confused.
Ah, so confused. Because, yeah, there was, because at one point I thought he was going to mention a different person.
Oh, yeah. At first, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if it was going that way either. Um, but Jack counters an F10 into a destroyer, but it's kicked out into a snare, and then he transitions into a snare trap. Nana distracts. Then they have one of those counter exchanges. This was probably the least smooth thing of the match, and it's probably should have been the simplest.
Yeah, because basically what happens here, and it happens and it looks really ugly. Like definitely somebody messed up something somewhere. But Prince Nana gets hit by Brian Cage as Jungle Boy ducks.
Then he rolls them up for the win.
And he rolls him up for that win. Yeah. But yeah, it just the whole Prince Nana getting hit part didn't go smoothly at all.
It's almost like when they were trying to do the whole countering aspect, they got lost in the circles of spinning.
Yeah.
That was only the beginning of what this match was about, because Jack It says he beat
Scraps that night.
Luchasaurus at the pay-per-view. He beat Brian Cage Knight. So
Yeah, he
now
beat a cage tonight.
he wants the biggest bitch of them all, Big Bill.
I thought he was gonna go for Christian Cage here.
That's what I thought too. I forgot about the whole choke slam thing.
Yeah, cause he's like, I beat Luchasaurus. Like he's going back to that feud there. I beat Luchasaurus. I just beat Brian Cage. Also has Cage in his name. And he has definitely called, oh no, he called Christian a pussy. Sorry, Christian's a pussy, not a bitch. My bad. I have to remember to make those distinctions. One is a pussy, one is a bitch. Big Bill's a bitch. Christian is a pussy. Got it. My bad. So I should have known because he said big bitch, not big pussy.
But hey, you didn't get to see Willow tonight, but you did get to see Stokely because he's the one who responds to Jack.
Mm-hmm. Stokely's the man.
I don't know how we got to this point, but he basically said, be careful what you're asked for, or you're going to see two things. Big Bill's boot in your face. The second one, though, I don't know. Do you catch what line he said? Because he talked about Jungle Boy getting the back of his hand because he is a... Did you catch what he said?
I did not know.
I was trying to figure out if he called him a hoe or something on TV because I didn't. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, I did not catch what he said.
They called him something, and Jack went running up the stage after him. Moriarty attacks first, followed by Big Bill.
Yeah, they whoop his ass.
That stupid fucking name, I don't even want to say it.
Big Bill.
Big Bill.
Yeah, come on.
But they dominate.
Don't do that.
But they dominate him, right? They end up,
of course.
Bill chokeslams Jungle Boy in the center of the ring.
It was a nasty chokeslam, too.
Then we hear, "You don't even know me."
You don't even know me.
Hook gets a big, nice reaction. And he comes out because he has a little issue with Lee and Stokely.
Yeah. And the firm scatters.
And this is what our frustration was.
Puzzled.
That we alluded to in the beginning.
Hook is smaller than both of the men that he made run away.
2-on-1. And both of them are bigger than him.
Yeah. Yeah, there's more of you than him, and you both run away.
And they're the heels. I mean, that explains why they would run away, but at the same time, that means they should be ready to,
Yeah. Yeah, if they're heels, they're ready to fight as long as they have the advantage, which they had here. Because he didn't sneak up or anything. He came straight down the ramp, ready to scrap, and they was like, we don't want none of Hook. He's half our size. Nuh-uh.
And the thing is like, it's not even like he's going to have a speed advantage on Moriarty.
No.
Like, they might be similar, but I'm not going to be like, oh, Hook is quicker than him.
Yeah.
So what advantage does Hook have to make you run away?
He's Taz's son. That means he's got the intangibles. Or should I say the intasables?
Firm leaves and Hook helps up Jack Perry, and he and Jungle Boy stand side by side, staring him down. Congratulations, Big Bill, you just ran away from a 5th grader.
Yeah.
Not really, but by size comparison, that's how big they are. Like a fifth grader to you is probably Big Bill to Hook.
I think that's about right. Probably a big fifth grader though.
Is what
But,
there's. Oh yeah, that's even gonna be off because I was like, that's about a foot, over a foot difference there. So like a foot difference for you, but you'd scale it down on scale would be more like 10 inches, which would still, damn it, that's closer to my height. I mean, I'm still taller than that, barely, but
yeah, the realization on your face.
I mean, I guess that makes sense though at the same time because I highly doubt I'm that much shorter than Hook.
Yeah.
Hook's probably what, Brandon's size?
See, that sounds about right. You know, just Brandon's size, but been to the gym before, and not just the basketball court part of the gym.
So honestly, as I look through, in terms of things to actually talk about, because I don't know, do we really? Oh, there's a couple things, I guess. I'm like, the Swerve video, there's really nothing there.
Yeah, no. It's just building up the hype of something happening between him and Keith Lee, because he still didn't even say, "Hey, we're done."
It was like, I don't have friends in this business. I don't have family in this business. I only have associates or affiliates. I forgot what he said.
Yeah. So yeah, it still hasn't been like a definitive split for these two, which obviously is coming soon. But
It's like, I don't give a fuck about you, basically.
yeah, I don't with you. I don't give a fuck about you or anything that you do.
On Rampage, we're gonna get Dustin with the Best Friends versus Trent Seven, Kip, Butcher, and the Blade.
Oh yeah.
Dustin was just hyping it up because, you know, it's in his backyard in Texas.
It's in his backyard. Yeah.
So
Texas backyard wrestling.
So one of the things for the Holiday Bash was based around the FTR promo, because it's going to be FTR versus the Guns.
Okay, so they did confirm that, because that promo the FTR cut was basically just we worked really fucking hard on Saturday at Death Before Dishonor. They worked their asses off. If by the way, if you guys didn't see that match, go back and watch it.
Just be prepared to absolutely hate the ending, because you're just gonna be like, what the fuck?
The camera angle at the end was bad, but it is a match of the year candidate up there with the other FTR Briscoes matches of this year.
One thing I can say though, for if you're watching this, if you go back and watch that match, I was telling you about that camera angle being bad at the end. It's not going to affect you watching it, because if anything, it just means you're not going to know when it's fucking coming.
Yep.
Which was the problem.
That's all it is. You just don't know when the end is about to happen. But that match was incredible. Hopefully FTR can get the Guns to put on a dope match. But I have a feeling that the Ass Boys are just going to be Ass Boys.
I remember them having a match a while back, and it seemed like there was some miscommunication or something got messed up, and FTR was not happy about it. I think one of the Ass Boys might have practically knocked themselves out. like it was that sloppy.
Ooh,
But it's been a while.
well, yeah. Well, let's say, Ass Boys, you've got the best tag team in wrestling in the ring with you, so you better look good. Otherwise, sorry, but your dad. I'm sorry, your former dad.
He upgraded.
he
He upgraded
upgraded.
sons.
Yeah, I'm gonna say your former dad's definitely gonna be done with you for good.
You know what? I was gonna do something before that, but hey, while we're there, might as well bring up the Acclaim because they had an appearance tonight. No match,
The
but an
Acclaim.
appearance. I have a question for you. Do you know when they started actually writing "daddy ass" on the graphics card?
I think he was daddy ass last week too.
I mean, it's been that way for a while now, so in terms of calling them that, I just don't know when it went on the graphics card because
But
I
yeah,
don't
let
usually
me
watch
say,
them.
yeah, that's what I meant as far as on the graphic. He was daddy ass last week too. I don't remember him being daddy ass on the graphic before that though.
Okay. Because generally the only time I look at the graphics is when it's jobbers, so I can write down their name. When they do that right.
Let's say that they didn't help us out with that today. They're like, it's Chris Jericho, the Ocho versus Chris Jericho, the Ocho.
Speaking of, I do actually appreciate that if for the rest of AEW history, when the ref is counting, if 8 is never 8 again and it's forever the Ocho, I'm okay with that.
I love that.
That can be like their whole,
Ocho.
like when there's that 1, 2, and then a kick out, people go sweet after.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that just becomes one of those things, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I like the Ocho thing.
Was there
That
any?
was my favorite thing from Death Before Dishonor.
If there was anything that you noticed in Caster's rap tonight that you want to point out?
No, it was standard current events. So he talked about Elon Musk, of course.
Get a booed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
No,
he didn't get to finish it.
yeah. I mean, he didn't write the whole thing because he definitely stopped and waited to be attacked. He's just like, all right, and I should be getting attacked right around here.
What if he actually said those words into the mic?
That would be great. And I'm gonna get attacked by Jeff Jarrett now.
Yeah. So the Lethal Team attack him during the rap. Once again, the ring, Casters tries to fight them off, but he doesn't even come close. It's like, hey, I got to stand up and throw a couple punches, but then right back down.
Yeah, they got you, ways.
And then they were able to hold him. That guitar shot was not as good as I thought it should have been, could have been.
I was hoping that it was gonna like be fully crushed over him.
Mm-hmm.
Just like remember back in the day when the guitar would be completely shattered into pieces.
It exploded basically.
Yeah.
This one,
That's what I was wanting.
it's like they actually got him a quality guitar to do it, and he just put a hole in it and it sat over his head.
Shit. Yeah, I want the old guitars back. Whatever guitar they used to have, get that again.
Not that I want to see Max Caster get tore up. That was. I wanted that big old guitar shot. I totally mixed up the word guitar and chair to get into one word. That was awesome.
Guitar.
It's kind of like what was the
There we go.
randomite ramp?
Oh yeah, Rampinamite, man.
But they kind of end up just taunting Overcaster, holding the belts. And I don't remember what he said on that before, but he ends basically with saying like the tag titles are theirs. Choke on that, slap nut.
Oh, yeah, no, he said scissor that, slap nut.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He said scissor that, slap nut.
I was like, he said something right before, then he went right into the slap nut. I'm like, okay.
He's just like, do we have your attention now? Are you watching now?
And then Lethal and Jarrett with Dutt in the middle hold up the tag team championships.
Yeah. Slap nut.
I'm all for Lethal being featured. I'm all, even for Lethal getting his hands on championships. But can they do something with him story-wise that makes it worth it? Because
yeah,
I swear to God, if they beat the Acclaimed, if this tag team beats the Acclaimed,
no, they wouldn't, they couldn't.
Exactly.
No.
I mean, Lethal is younger than you know, his resume would make him seem to be, but he's still not that young. So his time to kind of start winning championships is soon. I just don't want to see it get wasted in a group in which he should not be winning championships.
Yeah, don't do that. Please no. Please no.
If he uses the group to get singles titles, okay. But do not venture into tag team and trios, please. Not as that group.
Sounds scary.
You know what? If you want to bring back
definitely not as trios.
If he wants to bring back the Motor City Machine Guns and be a trio with them, sure, have at it. See what you can build. But not that group.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett, he kind of didn't do it for me back in the day, and he still doesn't.
I tried to
I like the guitar shots, and that is literally the only thing that I like about Jeff Jarrett.
I tried to like him in WCW. I even kind of did because he pissed everyone else off. But WCW back then, I also didn't understand that when he pissed people off, he was pissing people off in the wrong kind of way.
Yeah. Yep. I want him to literally just be like a cowboy version of Gallagher. Just show up, hit people over the head with guitars, and go the fuck away. Make me laugh, and go away. That's all I want.
Be like a veteran QT, where he has like young guys with him, and it's like he's just the old man sitting in his chair that he doesn't get up unless he absolutely has to, and they just guitar shots you. Oh my god. And then he sits back in his chair and he's done.
You and the guitars. You know what, Jeff Jarrett, you heard it here first on Top Rope Tokes. You should have the first guitar match.
If guitars were like super huge, like cello sized, where you could like open one up and shove a steel chair inside of it and then swing it, that would be awesome. It's like, oh, you expect this guitar to just explode, but no, there's a steel chair inside.
Surprise, it's a guitar.
Somebody go get him a custom guitar made that's shaped like a steel chair.
Oh man, here's your guitar. Oh, that would be so good. Yeah, get him a guitar.
I know English sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes though, just sometimes. We can't do it all the time. Ooh.
Oh, because the one thing that I was going to try to hit, then I was going to try to finish with the acclaimed. I already forgot what that was. Oh, there's one more segment that kind of actually matters. There's probably another segment or two in there that probably don't really matter. I don't know. Fucking no. I think we got them all.
The only other one that was left is the Hangman.
Yep. No, that's what I was saying. I'm like, I think it's the last one.
Yeah. Hangman.
I don't know
This
how I was supposed
interview,
to
I
feel
didn't
about it.
catch much about this either. Like,
It almost contradicted himself, like almost kind of talking in a circle in some ways.
yeah, he was like, all the bad things that happened, and I didn't remember anything, or when I was out, they asked me if I was okay, and I was able to answer all their questions.
What
And
day
I'm
is
like,
it?
okay,
Where am I?
so you recovered from your concussion. Cool. I'm happy to hear that, but you're not going anywhere with this promo.
So what it was is like after he'd answer those questions, they go, "Hey, your phone's gone off a bunch. Here it is if you want to, answer some things." And his lock screen's like the picture of his son, and he sat there looking at the picture of his son, and for an hour he could not remember the name of his son. So even though he had just answered where he was, who he was facing, what day it is, he got to his son and couldn't remember his son's name for an hour, and that was his personal hell. So even though he's not cleared, he doesn't care. He knows where the ring is. If Mox wants to tempt him back to hell, he's going to take Mox with him.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not cleared to fight, but you're saying you're going to fight him, which tells me that really you are cleared to wrestle, because they wouldn't let you do this if you weren't.
Yeah, I was going to say he wouldn't have been scrapping with Mox like that if he wasn't cleared.
How do you feel about them using a concussion as a storyline? Because even outside of this promo, when he went scrapping with Mox last week, he took that shove into the ring post, and they really, really played up him being concussed, possibly again, or not healed from it. With concussions as serious as they are,
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel about them using it as a story?
I'm okay with it. It's wrestling. It shouldn't be off limits because it's wrestling.
In the course of the match, totally fine with it. I do feel like the more that this goes on, where he's not cleared and they play into the concussion, I might start to have an issue with it, because it will kind of feel in bad taste. I just don't want to see it go too long.
Yeah.
Because then you're literally showing somebody on TV going to fight people when he's supposed to be injured and recovering from a concussion. Which, even just in story-wise, I'm like, why would you allow that? Wouldn't you as a company take much stricter measures? There'd be too many things of like, I don't like this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's wrestling. That's my that's gonna be my answer. It's wrestling, so you can do whatever you want. If Mae Young was able to give birth to a hand, then you can do whatever you want in wrestling, and people should just not give a fuck.
I just mean, like, in that part right there, there's just a part of it where it becomes nonsensical
Yeah,
and not in a humorous way, like giving birth to a hand.
yeah,
Like comedy, I'm good with nonsensical. If it's more of a serious storyline, I at least want it to be make sense.
yeah. And then yeah, I guess as long as they still are able to make it make sense, then it's gonna be fine for me.
Yeah, and that's all I mean. Like, the more weeks that he's there and trying to brawl with somebody while recovering from a concussion as a company, why the fuck would you allow that to happen for like a month straight? After like once, wouldn't you be like, you were staying home until you're cleared?
Yeah, I think you're thinking too logically. It's wrestling, dude. You're thinking like way too real.
Now, if it really is going to be like that early January show, then I feel like the timing on it's going to be good. But if it's longer, then it'll be kind of interesting what they do with it, because I don't want to see, oh, he's hurt for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, if they keep drawing that out for more than like maybe 2 more weeks, if I have to see like more than 2 more segments about this feud between these two and no fight, I'm going to be bored and not care about it or want to see it.
Yeah, that's basically it. It's like, or if they do fight each other, I don't want to see, oh crap, he's back in the trainer room because he might be concussed again.
Yeah. Yeah, like let's not make that the whole story of the match. Let's make the story of the match that it's a good match.
Random question, because I was thinking about this today. I responded to you in Discord and I said this. Ricky isn't winning the title tonight, but he still may be next in line. I feel like one other name that could be very much right up the alley to take the title off of MJF eventually. Hangman Adam Page. He's always kind of been like Mr. AEW, like homegrown talent. Made his star there. Had the story for like the first 2 years of AEW to get him to the point of being champion. So you could see, like, if MJF's doing the bidding war 2024, you could have like Mr. AEW on the other side.
Yeah.
I hate to say it because Sting is in AEW and then he has, you know, his grandson Darby. But Hangman's kind of in that Goldberg Sting type role. Like, this is WCW. This is AEW.
He kind of does have that. Yeah, he kind of does have that role of I'm here to set things right.
Even the CM Punk feud, he kind of even talked like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he was here. He's got to save AEW from CM Punk. Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe. I still, if Wardlow keeps his momentum, I think Wardlow might be the one to take the belt off MJF.
Sorry, I just realized the days until Wardlow is champion also may be the countdown to when I say, hey, I'm going to start watching WWE.
But people love Wardlow, man.
We do.
People love some Wardlow.
Oh, he's on that in action on Rampage too.
Yeah,
But he's in action, which means it's going to be more of a
it's
squash
gonna be
match
a
than a
yeah. It'll
Wardlow
be a
squash match.
squash and a it'll be a squash and a hey Joe. Now that final battle's over, I'm trying to reignite this thing.
I'm trying to feel if there was someone else that was popping up around that. I can't remember.
I don't know, but yeah, he'll eventually get that belt back from Joe, I think.
You know what? Sure, why not? It keeps him away from the world title longer.
Yeah, but yeah, at this point, I honestly think that if somebody's taking the belt off of MJF, it would be Wardlow. He'd be the only person that I feel like would actually make sense to take the belt off of him.
I'm okay. I'm still okay with Starks in like a year as well.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, now that you've kind of built stuff between MJF and Ricky Starks, yeah, Ricky Starks would make sense too.
I mean, I always kind of
But
felt like 2024 would be right around his time frame anyway, because I was talking about like you would have to use some time and that midpoint, kind of like where Wardlow is now,
yeah,
and that would be like your late 2022 / a lot of 2023. Hobbs is also gonna have to be in that mix for like mid-range title in 2023. And then you can see how he handles that and try to propel it to higher. Meanwhile,
yeah.
if you have your way, Wardlow might be at the end of this year.
Not at the end of this year.
Oh yeah, next year.
Say it's going to definitely stay MJF for the rest of this year.
All right, it's official. My brain is not working.
Yeah, my brain stopped working before you asked me this question.
Get out jail free card. It's after midnight. We're a decent amount in. If you made it this far, or checking this out, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, join Discord. Wish us a good night, because that sounds really good right now too. We'll see you Friday night.
Yeah, see you guys. Good night.